This Val-Con video is powered by GTX Server Hosting, the best way to run your Valheim server.
Welcome in, everybody! This has been a little bit, hasn't it? It's good to be here again.
Howdy.
Howdy. Post Val-Con. And we're here with the man that started it all, Bjorno himself. So let's start off. How's everybody doing? Like in chats, in all the chats, and right here with me on the table. How are y'all doing? How's it going after the con?
I don't know about you guys. Yeah, did everybody get a nap?
A nap for sure.
Like 82 naps.
Maybe two. I think I need more naps still, but man, it was an amazing con. I know I gotta say that, but I mean it. Like the interviews alone, and I think the ease with how it went down. I think I'm satisfied with it. Chat, did you enjoy it?
I was in particular really happy about how Iron Gate showed so much support to the modding community and everything. And now, for me at least, as a person who makes those things, I was very motivated, especially by Grimcore and Jonathan's interviews. I thought they seemed so comfortable, and it's like we finally gave them a chance to connect with the loving part of the Valheim community, and they had been missing that. And maybe I'm just crazy, but I feel in my heart that like it connected with them. So personally, I'm really happy how that played out, and I think that it means really good things for the future. And they even referenced, like, it sounds like there's going to be mod support after 1.0 comes out, and for me that's awesome. That is like the best possible news I could hear, even better than Deep North coming out earlier. I would rather have official mod support in 1.0 or later than Deep North.
It wasn't an official announcement. We got to be very clear on that.
Yeah,
but he was not.
Yeah,
he was very happy to keep that alive, right?
I'm just saying they emphasized it, and not just in passing, like very much. Like
True.
If you watch the interview with Jonathan, it sounds like Iron Gate is pro mod, and they're looking to that in the future once it's done. That's just my interpretation, though.
I mean,
I never got the impression they weren't pro mod.
No, exactly.
You haven't talked to very many modders then. The modding community is very divided. There's a lot of strife, a lot of problems. Not just from Iron Gate, though, just with everybody.
They did do a fair effort to fix whatever their anniversary update, borked a little bit. So they know the value of the modding community and how players play. They know it all. And I did get the strong feeling that talking to the devs this year, that they wanted to chime in last year, maybe. Heavy speculation on my part. But they were so comfortable and happy to be here, which makes us happy, right?
Yeah, they seemed really comfortable.
Yeah.
That made me happy.
I do read a little bit in chat here. Astrid saying that I'm sounding a bit like a robot. Is that true for everybody?
I noticed the stream looked a little choppy.
Maybe she meant you were tired. You sounded a bit
Well,
tired.
I'm always tired. That's my secret.
You didn't sound like a garbled robot, to me at least.
Okay, as long as we're good. Chat, feel free if there's anything inconsistent, anything broken on your end, feel free to shout that out, because we're gonna do our best to fix it in that case. Cool. Okay, well, let's get into it, right? Because we got Bjorno here, the man that started this entire thing, this edition, the last year's edition. So, Bjorno, to you, for people who may not know who you are, because you're working a lot in the background, tell us a little bit who you are, what do you do, like what was your vision, stuff like that.
So for people who are not familiar with me, I started the Planeswalkers Valheim group and did some pretty big events through them, mostly build competitions, PvP events, but we had a build competition that essentially invited guest judges from all over the Valheim community, and that's sort of what like got me networked with everyone. Mm-hmm. And then through that, we created Val-Con. So we can go a little bit more into like what happened in the background, but that's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, just another Valheim content creator that had a dream.
You had a dream and you made it come true. You had so much support from people all around you, and still do, and that's a beautiful thing.
Now, did that start with a conversation with B Vitamin? I'm trying to remember. I've heard the origin story myself a few times, but I know there was a conversation that took place with somebody that kind of kicked off or got the snowball rolling.
So me and Helga, not Helga Blue, we call him Other Helga, but he's the lead moderator over at Val-Con. We're having a discussion one evening in Discord, and we were just spitballing, talking about ideas. And we brought up the fact that, the way Valheim is kind of created, it would work really well as like a convention, like different ideas, different videos being showcased, different events you could do. And we were like, well, with the way the build competition was going, we knew quite a bit of people, so we were like, well, let's kind of test the waters and see what everyone else thinks. And that's when I brought the idea to be Vitamin, and through him, I want to say he invited me and a bunch of other people for the Kaizen Hunger Games, and we were all in that Discord, and that's where he reached out to see if everyone was interested in kind of participating or what they thought about it. So that's kind of how it began in a nutshell.
Right.
Got it. I know the team expanded from there because you've got Stone Prophet, you've got Gwen, and we've grown even further this year. So how long after the initial conversation did it take before the team really started to expand and people started to get serious about the first con?
Well, after about a week that B Vitamin reached out in the Kaizen Hunger Games Discord, we had, I want to say, like 5 or 6 people in what is now the Val-Con Discord. And then from there, we just, we picked up one person here and there until we filled out our team that, Stone Prophet, Gwen, back then, Bojingles was also a part of the team. So we focused on getting like the core staff team created first before we like started inviting the public.
Mm-hmm.
So for a little while, there was less than 10 people in that Discord.
It's grown quite a lot since then.
It has grown quite a lot. To intercept a little bit of what I see here, I don't think Astrid's the only one, but there seem to be a little like buffering issues on Twitch, like a lot. YouTube seems fine, which is using the same encoder, so I'm blaming Twitch for this one.
So for me, that just happens sometimes when we're doing the podcast, and usually after a minute or two, it just fixes itself. Like, I don't know why, but usually it happens in the intro for me.
Yeah, the only thing I can say is if you're having issues on Twitch, you're welcome to hop over to our YouTube page and join the conversation there. I think that's the best we got right now. So, Klaus, I think you did have you had a question also, right?
I've got plenty of questions today. Well, moving on from who you are, the con, but what does Valheim in general, I guess, mean to you? Obviously, you're passionate about it. You care about it. You care about it enough to run Planeswalkers and start the con. What else does it mean to you?
That's such a loaded question. It actually means quite a bit, and that's kind of the passion in the back end, like motivation that fueled creating such a giant Valheim convention, such a giant event, was that passion I had for the game. I'm just like most of the people who are addicted to it. I have over 3,000 hours in it. We do build competitions every month, sometimes multiple events a month. And, that amount of time I spent in the game, it continues to grow, and as 1.0 draws near, it's going to balloon even more. So it's very important to me, this game. And most of all, it wouldn't have been such a huge passion project if the community surrounding it wasn't also equally as amazing. So that's kind of what it is to me.
That's a very fair point. It's a culmination of multiple things, I feel, right?
Yeah.
So earlier you mentioned the Planeswalker community, right? And I think most people who are listening know about you because of Val-Con. So can you tell us a bit more about what the Planeswalkers is and kind of how it kind of led to Val-Con? I don't know if that's true, but in my head, you start as like a Valheim player, and then Planeswalkers kind of formed, and then that led to you forming Val-Con. Is that true, or what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree. If I hadn't been just a regular Valheim player like everyone else, you got to start somewhere. And like most of us, we have communities that we play the game with. And just seeing how amazing everyone is in the Valheim community, because I come from a different background. I wasn't always in the Valheim community. I started in the RTS community, actually, and I used to cast StarCraft 2 events with Korean pros and stuff like that, but then moved on to Valheim because, I don't know, there was just something about it that really jived with me. And of course, like I said, with the community being so amazing. So with Planeswalkers, we did all those events. We did PvP events. We did build competitions. We played the game in multiple servers. And we were always going to be known as like the event people, because that's when I kind of told my leadership team, is like, I want to do big events. And with the build competition, that's kind of where it all started. And then events just got bigger and bigger. And before long, we had like 30 people in VC for one of our build competitions. And it just got really, really big, bigger than I ever thought it would ever get. And of course, I'm always thinking we could do it bigger. And now it's culminated into like probably the biggest Valheim event for the entire community, which would be Val-Con. So yeah, all started with, little micro events, growing up into larger multi-community events, and then into the entire community.
StarCraft to Valheim, what a jump. For me, it was PUBG to Valheim, so I guess it's kind of a similar story.
Is it weird that I can't even remember what I was playing before Valheim? It's taken over so much of my gaming hours.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I have no idea. Cool, yeah. Man, this is a spell that Iron Gate cast upon us. It's insane.
Yeah, I think the game being as cheap as it was, and then COVID happening around the time it came out, and everyone was kind of yearning for, social events, social communities and environments, that I honestly feel like that's kind of what ballooned Valheim into being as popular as it was. And it's kind of weird to say, but without COVID, I don't think we'd be where we're at.
I think you're right. It was like a perfect storm to get everything to the point where we are right now. As is the case with most things in life, really. Just a lot of luck, right place, right time, great product, great community.
Totally. I think that sense of exploration, that ability to get to go explore the wild world of Valheim, just the natural world, and see the different biomes, I think that really helped a lot of people to like feel like they're getting out of the house when most of us are stuck in our basements.
Yeah.
That's a really good point. Like the exploration side in a time where we're constricted to a desk inside for months at a time.
I think that's absolutely right.
The pandemic era plays a huge role in like the psychology of the Valheim player base, because there are literally millions of people who have played Valheim, and most of them played during the pandemic. So that was like 4 years ago. So the reality is that today, most people don't even know what Valheim is anymore, because in their heads, it's the game that it was back then during the pandemic. And they haven't really paid a whole lot of attention to it. And I often am confronted by this, because people will comment on my videos and I see what they're watching, and there's a lot of weird trends and things that happen, and it's really interesting. But I completely agree, like the pandemic played a huge role in Valheim forming the way it did. I don't know if it was as good as a good thing, really, because a lot of problems came from the sheer quantity of popularity that Valheim had caused a lot of issues for Iron Gate, and a lot of personal issues for the staff there that made things hard for them. So I think maybe it would have actually been better if they didn't have that big flash, because then it would have happened later after the game was a bit more polished. But ultimately, everything played out how it is, and I love Valheim. I'm in the same boat. Very happy about this game. Haven't looked for new games since.
100% correct. And inspired by this game is, of course, the music we play in the background, which is by Bits and Hits. It's a lo-fi version of the Valheim OST. I just posted links in both YouTube and Twitch chats. Honestly, it's free to use as long as you mention them. So be nice to the creators, and I just love it. I love it. You can study to it, kill pagans to it. It's fine. It's all good.
Oh, is it free to use? I didn't know that. That's awesome.
It is, as long as they're mentioned. Yeah.
Okay. I could put that to work.
That's a whole nother can of worms. Like the game itself is what drew us in, but I think I kind of agree with JP a little bit. I remember him mentioning this, that a good game also has to have a good soundtrack. And the soundtrack itself draws you in. Each biome, it feels like a new adventure, a new OST to experience. And that's also part of the overall experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love Valheim music.
Yeah, that was one of the best chats I think we got to have last year and this year at Val-Con, was talking with the composer.
Patrick.
He's been a real delight to chat with both times. And then getting to hear like the unused music this time, that was a real treat.
Oh man, it was so much a real treat. It was so good. He did ask us to delete the files, which we did, but
fair enough.
Oh my god, I wanted to keep him so badly. Anyway,
if any of you want to watch the interview, they're all actually separated now from the main VOD, and they're scheduled out on the Val-Con YouTube channel. So every week there's a new interview that you can watch. So we have all 7 of the interviews. The last one I haven't scheduled yet because it doesn't show the person's face. I have to do it in a bit of a different format, but the rest of them are all scheduled. So
yeah, we're throwing all that media out in like digestible chunks, right? So you can watch it all back.
Exactly.
I'm not
realistically,
sure. Yeah.
Very few people were able to watch the entire Val-Con live stream over the weekend. Most of us were able to catch bits of it, but there's still pieces we haven't seen.
Absolutely.
So this way, you'll get chances over time to watch any of the content in the interviews.
Absolutely. I'm not sure if we got into the next question already.
We haven't, but I feel like we're gonna cycle back to that one. Well, I feel like that's a natural interlude, but we can bring it up. So we're kind of talking about Val-Con now anyway, Bjorn. What is your role in Val-Con?
That's wow. I work so many
I have all the
Sorry.
open-ended questions, just so you know. I do not have the specific yes/no questions for you.
Yeah, so I like to think that I've said this to multiple people, and they're like, "You do more than this," but I'm essentially the idea person. I really want Val-Con to grow, and I thought it would be awesome to have a band involved. So I reached out to Brothers of Metal, and I kind of facilitated that partnership. Me and Jonathan talked a lot about the event in Discord behind the scenes, and I was a big part of spearheading getting them involved, especially this year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the conversation behind the scenes to get their participation was me and them, and then once they signed on, the broadcast people like Gwen kind of took over with what they needed to do on broadcast. But essentially, I'm the idea person. I usually start up the meetings every year and kind of brainstorm with the community as to what the next iteration will look like before the actual meetings get underway and we actually start doing the work. So I'm usually the one who tries to grow Val-Con every year with new and exciting opportunities and ideas. And of course I do other things than that. We all do, being on the core staff team, but that's mostly what I'm involved in.
And you're the fire starter, of course, right?
Yeah,
I feel like
I like to get as many people involved as possible, and if we got a large amount of people this year, I always feel like I need to outdo it next year. I always think that there's always room for one more. There's always room for one more community, one more viewer, one more staff member. We want to involve everyone, and we want this to be truly a global event, and that's the best way to do it, is to get as many people involved as possible.
I think that's beautiful. I think that also extends into the production of it, right? And how things are set up. It could always be that little bit better. It can always be this. It can always be a little bit that, a little bit that.
And it's not saying that it's bad.
Oh, no,
it's just saying
absolutely
that
not.
there's always room for improvement, right?
Yeah, because I loved it. I loved it from last year to this year. Obviously, being a part of it was amazing, and everyone puts their own little personal stamp on it, like how they would do things, their suggestions, their skills, and brought together by you, I would feel, and it's just great.
Yeah, and I think if you look at all the ideas that people talked about last year, just how much it's grown from last year to this year. I mean, if you want to just even focus on the build server itself, like how different that is. I mean, it's 1,000% improved in almost every way, shape, and form from last year based on the community feedback, the builders who participated, Ku, Bree, all these people and their creative intellects, minds. That kind of collaboration, is what I'm trying to say, is what makes things grow between this year and next year. So I can't wait to see what we got for next year.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We're not shy when it comes to listening to what our community has to say, feedback from our staff team, from moderators, etc. If you have an idea, we're willing to hear it, because most of us haven't ran a convention before, and in fact, most of us, this is only the second event we've ever done. So, we're always willing to hear that constructive criticism. We're not going to be offended if we hear that things can be improved, and most of the time we will improve them.
Yeah,
as seen in 2026.
We see that, at least I see that. It's not an offense to say, hey, this would be awesome if it would be changed next year or whatever. That's just good feedback. It means enough to the person giving the feedback to try and help and point it out.
Yeah, people care, and we care, so we're going to listen to what the community has to say.
Yeah, I think we cannot repeat that enough times, because everyone, this is not just our baby, right? You started it, we helped build it, but it would be nothing without people here in chat, people playing the game, people excited and passionate about it. So yeah, without them, we stand nowhere.
I agree.
Awesome. So speaking of that passion, of that game, of that community, zooming in a little bit onto you playing the game. What do you prefer in the game? Do you prefer like building, exploration, combat, survival? What's your jam?
I'd probably say combat is one of my favorite parts of the game. Before our build competition, we held PvP events, even though Valheim isn't really tailored to its combat or its PvP mechanics. I don't know, there's just something about, getting into the thick of it in a big combat scenario, and just, it's the rush.
Yes.
Building is also equally as exciting, especially, with the way competitions are going. So many communities do different types of build events, but combat is definitely where I get most of my enjoyment.
That's amazing, especially if you look at the Hype Week servers. We had at least one I know of. I sadly didn't have the chance to go into all of them, but there was at least one big PvP server, JP, if I'm correct in this.
Oh yeah, one of them is like the PvP server. Yeah, Arena World.
Oh yeah, Arena World
for Valhalla. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big part of the game as well, and it's interesting to know and to learn about that. Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to those guys at Arena World. They taken PvP and ran with it. And what they're doing is incredible.
Big shout out, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you just touched on something important for the hype world, is that basically there's so many things to experience that just a week is not even enough to like visit parts of the showcase server fully. Let alone visit 15 other worlds. I in my head was like, oh, I'm gonna visit every hype server, and then I struggled to even be able to visit 4. Like, I was so busy, it just didn't happen. So now I'm like, damn, need to visit them.
I feel like we need to be able to clone ourselves closer to the event to experience everything, to showcase everything. That's
like 8.
Yeah, some servers are still up though, right?
Yeah, almost all of them are still up. That was kind of the idea, is to make, speaking of things we learned from last year and this year, one of the focuses was that last year there wasn't a whole lot for people to play, and the world we had, if something happened to it, then there were issues basically.
Mhm.
Whereas this year we had it set up so there was like it was like the complete opposite. There were so many things to play Valheim related that you're only going to experience like 0.5% of them. And like now I see that at least for next year, something that could be done better for the Hype Week people is to be more included and visited by Val-Con people, because some of those communities feel like they weren't visited, they weren't given enough attention. So this is just something just along what we've been saying. Basically what happened with Hype Week is that the vanilla servers, the fully vanilla servers, were slammed, but then the other ones barely got any visitors.
So what
and
you're
then
saying,
when the actual live stream happened, go on.
Yeah, what you're saying is we need a Val-Con hype squad. We needed. Well, we can do this. This is
it's
actually
like it needs to be more fused with the event itself, in the same way the
that
showcase
too.
server was.
That too.
Basically, because then they'll feel more included as well. But and the only reason I brought this up is to agree that most of these experiences are still available. And the idea was, like last year, we just had the event and then it was done. What could you do? You could watch the event, right? But you couldn't like re-experience things. Whereas this year, the event was like a big flash to bring attention. And then what can you do now? Well, you can play on one of these, 13 or 14 worlds that are still available. You can visit the showcase server, which is still up, available. And you can also visit the theater server and rewatch parts of the event itself. And the idea is to keep these things available so that if you missed out on Val-Con, that's okay. You can, come into the server, find new people to play Valheim with, and still have a good time and meet other people who love Valheim, because that's really what it's about, right?
Yeah.
So going into Hype Week, I was a little confused because I thought we were going to be doing like one of the showcase or one of the servers per day. So like, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we covered everything in the first day and then just kind of said everything was live. Just as like a viewer, I think I would have liked to have seen like each one given like a day to shine. Like, let's go explore the world. Let's walk through it for, a couple of hours, so to speak, versus, hey, everything's live. And I think that's where it got lost in translation.
This is great feedback.
It's not so much lost in translation, because I think the team understood that. It's the reality of the workflow and how much work was on us, because
you're not lying there.
Like I said, I planned on visiting every server for an hour. I literally just couldn't. And basically we need to have like predetermined teams that like are going to visit, and like not just kind of wait for some streamers to, like, we set part of the staff up and their whole point is to visit the hype servers and include them more. Also in the broadcast, like we need more of it was too much like Hype Week is a thing and then there's all these communities, but then it just ends and then it's all about the broadcast and the showcase server, and it didn't really feel fused effectively. But again, this is just something, so in the future, I feel this leads into something to better the team later on. We'll definitely have like an internal meeting on that later.
It's a good thing the ideas guy is sitting here listening now.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, that was one of the things in 2025 that most people brought to our attention, is they wanted more interactivity, like with the con. They wanted things that they could actually participate in and play, like JP brought up earlier. They wanted servers to actually play on, and we definitely brought that this year. But I think the broadcast team and the Hype Week servers and the showcase servers, I think there could be a little bit more collaboration there, a little bit more fusion between the experiences, and I think we'll definitely take that with us into 2027 and expect it even a better experience next year. And like you said, we may have a group of content creators that all they do is go to each Hype Week world and show it off on stream, and then we kind of highlight that on the broadcast. So thank you everyone for definitely giving us that feedback. We will definitely see what improvements we can make there.
Absolutely. I think did we have a Hype Week last year? I don't think we did, right?
No, that was new to this year. So kind of like the showcase server itself. I mean, if you look at the improvement there, I think you'll see some significant improvement for the Hype Week stuff next year.
Yeah, for a 1.0, it was already pretty good, I feel. But iterations happen, and they will. That I'm sure of.
Yeah, it's all a learning process.
Yeah, like we said, we've never done this before. A lot of us are familiar with like streaming and doing interviews and stuff like that. But it's like bringing it all together. It's a lot of work, and we'll really take all the feedback from both the community and internally from our own staff, moderators, content creators, and make sure that 2027 we hit all those marks. And if you guys, stay along for the ride, we'll make sure that we make those improvements year after year.
Oh yes.
So to move on, now that we've covered that, you've witnessed a lot of different players, right? So you've probably seen how people build, they explore, they have their tendencies and their quirks and the things that they think are boring and are fun. Is there a certain playstyle that you wish more people would try in Valheim? That, like, something you see people dismissing that you actually think is pretty fun? Or others think is fun?
Definitely. I feel like building, even though it's like one of the most popular aspects of the game, there's still a lot of people that are like, no, I'm not a good builder. It's like, you just got to put yourself out there, and usually most people have some type of creative side. I mean, if you're playing video games alone, you probably are creative in some way. It's a niche genre of things to do as a hobby, in my opinion. So just try to build something, and it doesn't have to be anything serious. You could just sit there for an hour and just be like, I'm going to build a storage building, or I'm going to build a farm. Just don't put it out there that it's not your thing. Just give it a shot. Building is very rewarding, especially when, coming from someone who puts on build events. You see people show up, event after event, and even though they say they're not that great at building the first time they do it, you do see improvement each time they show up. And you can really see someone's personality through their building. So if people would just, give it an opportunity, I feel like building could be more appreciated in the community. A lot of people feel like it's too difficult or too complicated, and I don't think that's necessarily the case.
I do 100% agree. Because it's easy to get stuck in a certain play style. I know for myself that I swore by a sword and shield, and then someone said, try using the knife for once. Just try it in a playthrough. Honestly, I never went back. And I'm a little sad that the queen is so hard to beat with just the knife, because the knife is everything to me now. And like Crumb said, everybody starts at 0. I couldn't have my first build. I couldn't keep my first build in the air. It fell down immediately.
Yeah, everyone has to start from someplace, and every single builder at one point or another built their first thing. So you just got to build that first thing, and really not necessarily be like really criticizing about it, but just kind of look at it and be like, where could I improve? And then the next time you build it, add a little bit more depth to that wall, or add a little bit more interior design. Like, there's always improvements that you can make with each play style, and you won't always be an expert right at the beginning, so you can't be too hard on yourself either.
Yeah, one of the best parts of the showcase server was the first build zone, where a lot of folks were able to dig up and share the first thing they ever built in Valheim. And if you are at all feeling conscious about your building, please go look at those. It's really fantastic to see where they started and where they are now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect way to explain that. We actually have an area dedicated to exactly what we're talking about. Like, people start from somewhere and then they end up somewhere, and they look completely different, but it's all about the journey, right?
Oh yeah, like my shoebox is looking very fancy now, like Alec says here.
So while we're talking about building, and you talk about the competitions that the Planewalkers run, I'm gonna hit you with 2 questions here. One, how did the Planewalkers begin? Because I've seen them floating around the Valheim community. I've never directly interacted with them. I've seen a couple of VODs for some of the build competitions, but how did the Planewalkers begin? Where did they get their origin story? And then I'd like to know a bit more about the building contests that you and the Planeswalkers host. Like, how often are they? Where do you guys get the themes? Who are the builders that show up? What's that community like? So let's do the 2-part there.
So the Planeswalkers started as, like most other communities, we started as an internal only group of friends that just played Valheim together. And then we started doing, like I discussed earlier, those little micro events, like a little PvP event there, a little micro build event here. And then before we know it, we were inviting the public to come and join us. So we went public in 2022 after about a year of just playing internally as just a group of buddies. And then from there, we just kind of took off. We were, Grim came by, I want to say right before Hearth and Home, and he did a server tour with us, and we had a carve race with Grim that went really well. And then Jonathan visited and for a build competition. So we just kept doing events after events. We kept, being available for the community to be a place where you could come and experience these things. And that it just kept growing and growing. And then we're at a point now where we have, 20 plus builders per event and multiple people from different communities showing up to judge them. People like Dakar and various other content creators showing up to guest judge it. So that's kind of where Planeswalkers started and where we're at now. So like most communities, we started, from the ground up, built what we felt would be a welcoming place for people to come and experience social events within Valheim and various other titles. And I think I like to think that's where we ended up having multiple communities involved and tons of people showing up. And I think I'm going on a tangent there.
Yeah, some of my favorite builders I've seen on there. I've seen Con Shonery appears often and does usually pretty well. Bree Games has been on there a few times. I love both of their styles. That's always fun to see those guys getting to work in the wild like that.
Yeah, we're not shy with the worst thing you could get is a no if you reach out to somebody and ask them if they want to be involved.
Right.
So I don't mind reaching out to prolific builders in the community or prolific content creators to see if they could judge these things, because I want to meet people, and that's a big side effect of doing events is networking with the community and learning who is in your community, how your community works. And if it wasn't for all that, we wouldn't have the event that we're all here for, which is Val-Con.
Sure. And so these build competitions, they take place like once a month or every other month?
Yeah, we do one right now. At least we're doing one build competition per month. Right now we're doing our frame game event, which happens on the Val-Con free build server once a month. If you join the Planeswalkers Discord, in the event section, you can find all the information for that. But essentially you start with a pre-built frame on a biome of your choosing, and then you have 4 hours to create something according to the theme that's usually voted on by the Planeswalkers and the public within our community. We've also done a 24-hour event. We've done like a weekend thing. We've done a week-long event. So pretty much any amount of time that you could think of that would be good for building, we've probably done it. We even did a 2-hour like build sprint, which was something we explored at Val-Con again this year, which getting that rush of building something as quick as you can. It almost gives you the same kind of rush you would expect like from a combat style event. So we wanted to essentially emulate the feeling you get in a PvP event, which is that rush of adrenaline, the joy of being one-on-one or one against multiple people in a competition, just in a building environment.
Cool. And what are some of the themes you guys usually do for these?
God, we've had so many themes. We've done like I want to say some of my favorites are like fantasy things. Like we did a build event regarding like your favorite fantasy or sci-fi IP. And I know that we saw like a lot of things from like movies and various TV shows. Con Shonery, like you said, he showed up and built this giant castle with like the burning swords in the pillars of the castle, that it turned out so amazing. We have a lot of interesting themes that are chosen. We try to make sure that they're unique and not something, like farmhouse or something. I'm not saying a farmhouse isn't nice, but you really want to look at grander themes, something that really piques the interest of the community. And I think that's kind of why we like choosing things that come from like various IPs that are outside Viking and Valheim as a whole, because then you get people who really like sci-fi, for instance, who really like those types of genre of TV shows and movies, building things that you probably never see in Valheim, just playing the game with the community.
Well, this is all a lot. Like you're doing a lot, right? You started up the entire thing with Val-Con. You have the entire Planeswalkers operation. This really begs the question, to me at least. Like, do you consider Valheim, at least what you're doing with Planeswalkers of Val-Con, do you consider it a hobby or a passion, or maybe something completely different?
At this point, it started as a hobby, but at this point, I was hoping that wouldn't it be amazing to be able to do something that you love, like for a living?
Oh,
and
yeah.
I feel like that's why Val-Con is such a huge dream and passion project for me, because I love this community and I love this game and I love the people surrounding it and all the different personalities. So to be able to spend that much time with all these people, it's gone from hobby to dream project, essentially, to almost becoming a second job for me.
Yeah, because it does take up a lot of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, running 2 communities, it does take quite a bit of time, and luckily I have a family who's very supportive of my dreams and my hobbies and my projects that I'm working on. Because without them, I wouldn't be able to spend as much time as I do in both communities, both Discords.
The true backbone of a creator.
Yep.
Is the family. I feel that. I think we're all, as far as I know at least, we're all very lucky to have that backbone. And I think you can't pursue everything, right? Because everything that pops into my brain, at least, is just way too much to, in reality, go and create. There's only so many hours in a day. So how do you decide like what ideas are worth creating, worth chasing after?
You gotta depend upon your teammates, your teams, like our leadership team at Val-Con. Usually with a group of people that come together with the same drive to do something big, you could kind of peak the different interests and try to figure out what is worth adventuring on. It's kind of hard to explain, but essentially you want to see what everyone else is feeling, and then kind of go in what direction you feel would benefit.
Listening to viewers, listening to other people playing or making content, maybe that can steer a decision like that, right?
Yeah, because Val-Con was going to be super collaborative when we were brainstorming it at the beginning. And I kind of feel like that's something I learned over at Planeswalkers, is like, what does the community want to see? What theme do you want to see? It's like always been about, like, as a community as a whole, putting your ear to the ground type thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of why Val-Con's been as successful as it is we're not afraid to ask questions, and we're not afraid to see what can be done or what can be done better.
Yep.
And I feel,
hard agree. Totally agree.
So, speaking of creation and communities and all of these things and managing projects, a lot of this has to do with motivation. And naturally, in life, there's times where one is really inspired, and then times where one feels like everything is hopeless. So, when you're in one of those periods where you're not feeling motivated, do you have any advice on things that you can do to get your motivation back?
I do. One doesn't always have to take motivation from Valheim. Sometimes just going to, like, personally, I like to go to like art museums or various different museums, and sometimes I get motivation for Valheim there, like, or just driving around town, seeing a building style that I thought, well, that would look really cool in Valheim, or that would be a really cool theme for a build competition. Like, you shouldn't be afraid to see the things that you enjoy in IRL, or maybe even in different titles, because truly we're all gamers at heart. And then take that motivation you get and then apply that to Valheim.
That's a very cool way of looking at it. I won't lie, I definitely looked at the world the same way a little bit. And for me as well, we went to Denmark, I think last year, and we went to Reading, I think it was called. Like there was 2 Viking graves there. It was like a museum bit. And you start to think, I know most of my Viking stuff, like Norse mythology and everything around it, from Valheim. It may sound stupid, but I've gotten really interested in it. And seeing all those real life things as well, like, wow. It's really hard to explain the feeling you get then, but you start putting things in perspective, I guess, as well, right?
If you love this game enough, you'll find your motivations in lots of other things outside the game. And that's the great thing about Valheim, is that you can apply those things to the game. Whereas with some titles, like, I'm not going to, dog on the first-person shooter community, but typically, you play a couple rounds of a first-person shooter and you're kind of burnt out on that. And how are you really going to get motivation for a shooter game like IRL? And unless you're a person who goes to the range every week. But with a game like Valheim, where building is such a large aspect of it, you could take that from anywhere.
If I see a large farm somewhere in the countryside, I'm like, I can do this in Valheim. Yeah.
Yeah, Valheim definitely, at least when you start building in Valheim and getting creative with Valheim, I really feel like it changes your perspective and outlook on the world. Like you start to look at things differently. You ask, how can I do that in game? When you see something that's inspiring, I find myself doing that a lot.
Yeah, it's like being an artist and going out into the world and seeing other paintings and different arts, like statues and stuff, and taking that motivation and applying it to your art. And that's a great thing about Valheim, is it kind of feels like that. It kind of feels like art in a way when you look at the builds, especially the ones that were on our showcase servers. They're just so incredible. And it's almost like a painting in a way, or like an art exhibit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you see some builds from people who dare to take on playing with lights. For me, that is just so extra. Just so difficult to do as well. Like that really could be an oil painting at some in some occasions, especially in the
with
swamps.
Lights. We said with lights, right?
Yeah, lights. Yeah, light sources.
So, like, can you give me an example of a build?
I don't have a specific name of a build for you, but I've seen a lot of swamp builds, for instance, that have a lot of purple lights here, like hidden lights behind pillars that just emanate and create a certain vibe.
Good lighting is difficult to pull off.
There's
no doubt about that.
Go and watch any of Bane's videos.
I love
Bane. You'll see
Bane.
Exactly what that is.
Bane, come back, please.
Correct. Bane videos.
I need more Bane videos in my life.
I think if you've seen one, I think you share that sentiment, because they're really atmospheric and really cool to look at.
He plays with size really, really interestingly, because like if you watch the videos for a Bane video, like it's really easy to look at it and go, man, that must be big, but actually it's quite small. It's quite I almost want to say cozy in a way. Like just how he works with scale is really interesting.
So is it perspective in filming or actually designing a room and then building a house around it, or vice versa?
It's both. He does a really great job of capturing silhouettes. God, I'm trying to think, like there's a tower that he built. I think the thing he showed off at Val-Con was like a potion tower.
Yeah.
And you look at it in the video or in the thumbnail, you kind of get the impression it's bigger than it really is, and that like the pieces that jut off the side that form other rooms or individual towers might be bigger, but actually he does a great job. Does such a great job playing with scale that everything is way smaller than you're gonna give it credit for. So when you walk up to it, it's actually way more manageable than you thought.
That's a skill I don't even know I'll be able to learn, but hey.
Very focused. Wow. It's the way I like to think about it.
Yeah, he does more with less, and that's a style of building that I really like.
Then here you see where the real expertise lies, I feel.
So Bjorn, I know you. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, easy. No, go ahead.
No, I was going to give it to you anyway.
All right, fine. Well, Bjorn, I know you used to do video interviews with some of the builders behind the competitions. When you're doing videos like that, like how are you planning them out in in advance, or is this more of like you improvising, you riff-raffing it? Like, what's your go-to style to catch up with a builder after a build competition for a video?
Well, when we do our build competitions, I'm usually just like the cameraman, and I kind of just walk through, so I don't really have a lot of like input or I do share some feedback on stream, but it's not really a ton. I kind of lean on my judges for that. So honestly, it's just like, what would I have said and asked if I was a judge, or if I was just someone watching the stream? Like, what would I want to know more about? Um, from a building perspective, or it could even be like a personal thing, like where people get motivations from IRL. And then I just kind of ask those things on the interview, and just try to get these builders to not be just such strangers to the community. I want the community to know who these amazing builders are, what motivates them, and their styles, and just kind of go from there.
All right. Okay, so with the talk about building competitions, like, have they changed? Because you've done a lot of them, right? I can imagine the first one is way different from the latest one. What has changed, and is there anything you want them to morph into in the future? Like any building?
They have changed a lot. Our first building competition was all in one area. Like, we all met in like one central area, and we had these numbered plots for each spot a builder would build in.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, back then we were Valheim noobs. We didn't even think about like, well, we're going to have 10 builds of 5 to 10K instances all in one spot. So now we have a portal hub for our build competition, with portals that go to each biome, and then different portals at each biome that go to different plots. So if, say you want to build in the plains, we'll have a main plains portal. You'll go through that. And then you may have 5 to 6 other portals that go to 6 different areas in that biome. So essentially, we want people to spread out and kind of pick their canvas of where they want to build, instead of just being like, you have to build here because of the way the stream works and the way the judging works, that we want everyone to be in a central area.
Right.
And instead, it focuses on Valheim's strengths, and we kind of lean on those more.
Yeah, because it's also, I imagine, the presentation of these builds as well, right? Because you need to be able to, one, have fun building, which is not very fun at 10 FPS, and to show them off, you need a nice smooth camera to them as well.
Right.
To hook into that a little bit, did you do something drastic with like what is the word here? Like the theme of the builds? Like maybe play it safe when the competitions started up, and maybe you're now widening that, making it broader theme-wise.
At the beginning, we chose themes that we felt would work in Valheim, because we didn't want people to be scared off by a theme that felt too big or too vast to do in one event, or maybe 2 hours, But now we're definitely not scared to be like, what can we pull from other genres and other niches, whether that be movies or TV shows, other games, fantasy, sci-fi.
Yes.
We're not afraid to pull from anything now, if we get enough interest behind it. And a lot of us gamers are nerds in a way. So there's so much really that we could use for themes.
Yeah, like Ulrich's Star Wars build comes to mind.
Yep.
Sorry, yeah, Klaus. What's up?
What's been your favorite build theme so far?
Val-Con 2025 we did a Val-Con build competition, and it was like the heart of Valheim or something like that. And it was essentially like any build that you feel would bring the community together. And I remember the winning build, shout out to Gatoth, the Hearthstone Mead Hall. It had like hearts like and lights on the side of it, and I just thought that was really cool. Like, to be able to take a theme and physically make it feel welcoming. Like, it takes a lot for a builder to take these themes and ideas and create something from it. And so to create something that that you could feel that love of the community and the passion. I just eat that stuff up.
Yeah.
So to move on from the Planeswalkers and building competitions back to Val-Con, was there a certain part of the event this year, or people's reaction, or anything that happened really, that you found particularly surprising?
That's a good question. There was so much that surprised me this year. I honestly didn't expect to have a band and a major record label attached to the event. Shout out to Nuclear Blast and the Brothers of Metal. I kind of felt at some point or another Iron Gate would get involved if we just kept to the course and let our passions and kind of dictate what we do instead of worrying about, how much merch we're selling or how many people watch the stream. Like, all that stuff is nice, but that's not what we set out to do. We set out to bring the community together, and that was like always at the top, and doing a physical convention where we can meet everyone in person. So I kind of feel like the Brothers of Metal Nuclear Blast thing is definitely what surprised me the most this year.
That was a
Got
really
it.
big
So-
Listening to that now.
Yeah, that was fun. I was unexpected too. I didn't think we were going to get a band to pitch in. It just wasn't on my bingo list for Val-Con 2026.
The goal was to have them open the convention with a live video. So that's still the dream, is to have a live music performance at the very beginning of the con to kind of open everything up. I don't know if you guys watch BlizzCon or any of the other big cons. They will have live bands come and play the con. And I think like there's so many Viking adjacent bands out there. I reached out to Amon Amarth. I reached out to Brothers of Metal. I reached out to a lot of metal bands and rock bands that were in Sweden. And the fact that Brothers of Metal responded and they really liked what we were doing and they thought it was interesting and exciting, it really surprised me for sure.
Okay, I think I got the answer already, but is there a specific part of Val-Con 2026 that you really enjoyed?
My favorite part of 2026 was definitely the Iron Gate interviews. I feel like what they shared this year was just, it really touches my heart to see them come on and share like actual work, like detailed illustrations of an unreleased biome, unreleased music tracks. Like, that's incredible. Like, honestly, they could have came on and just did the interview and been done, but they wanted to be involved and they wanted to bring that excitement of the event within their own panels. Like, that's what surprised me the most, is that Iron Gate not only attached, but that they shared so much.
Yeah, they did. Like that's what I brought up earlier as well. Like, it felt like they've been A, looking forward to it, or B, a little regretting not taking part last year. But they just, dude, I know they're just people like us, but they're amazing. I love their passion for what they do, and therefore their participation in this one as well.
I thought it was a good idea to have to build a zone together. I think that really focused the questions and got to see the creative side that they don't necessarily get to show the public often.
Yeah.
That was so perfect for me, by the way, because in Enigma, I'm designing a world tree biome that I haven't put out. And then you guys literally interviewed the Iron Gate staff about doing that. And I was just like, oh my God, this is
The
so
imaginary
useful.
biome, yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was in voice chat with the other moderators when these interviews were happening. And for the first time during the whole event, I went mute and deafen just so I could be present during these interviews, because I know how important it was for Iron Gate to share what they did, because you could tell from the excitement from their side how much they wanted to be involved. And I just wanted to be 100% present there. And I know it kind of sucks like to mute your community, well, because you can't really communicate and discuss like what they're talking about, but these interviews are incredible. If you have not watched them, please go check them out on our YouTube and Twitch page. Like we said, that you could just really tell how involved they wanted to be in the passion they had for their own community and how much they wanted to be involved with it.
Yeah, we can
I
talk about
honestly
that
thought that
all day
was
long, but
incredible.
legit, we've been making shorts about special moments of these interviews for everybody to go watch in the shorts feed. And there's also, I believe, the full interviews are also being released, right, as videos.
Yeah, so every full interview gets released on the Val-Con YouTube channel, and once a week apart. So far we have the Jonathan one, and we have the one with Patrick, the composer. And then also, in addition to that, there's this server project in the Val-Con modded server. So you can go in the game and then actually watch the interviews in Valheim.
Yes.
And so that is available now in like a draft form with just the beginning interviews and the Hype Week trailers. But over the next month or so, it's going to become an entire theater built with Blueberry and some other people from the building team. I'm not sure how it'll play out, but I've been in communication with them. And you're going to be able to just join and then literally watch any part of Val-Con inside Valheim. So I'm really excited about that.
That is really cool.
Valheimception.
Valception? Yep, agreed.
So speaking of communities, since you're so involved in communities, Giorno, I like to ask people about healthy communities and unhealthy communities. Could you describe the difference between a community you perceive as healthy and a community you perceive as unhealthy? I don't mean like give example communities. I mean like, what does an unhealthy community do and what does a healthy community do, and how are they different from each other?
That's a really good question. So I guess I'll start with unhealthy. I feel like and like you said, I'm not going to point out any specific communities, but unhealthy communities tend to be unwelcoming. They tend to be really, what's the word? Like their core team of people, like they don't want to expand that at all. They don't want to meet new people. They don't want to share new experiences. They usually have leadership that, kind of keeps things, I don't want to say private, but like
Stagnates a bit, gets comfortable.
they live in their own bubble,
Yeah.
and they don't want to go out of the bubble. Like if you're a healthy community, you're always wanting to bring in new people. You're always wanting to share that experience with new people. Because like, with Valheim especially, we spend so much time in it, at thousands of hours. Like you're always going to need new blood, new people, new viewpoints, to kind of keep the community going. So if you kind of stay in that bubble a little too much, you kind of run out of steam in a way. So you always got to be willing to see a new viewpoint, meet a new person. And I kind of feel like that's a lot of why the build competition did so well. It's because we were always willing to meet a new judge or meet a new content creator or bring in new builders.
A little fresh air.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Absolutely agree on that, because when it works out well and when you get the right feedback, personally, I do love managing a community. It could be a lot if you have multiple. I have no experience in that, but I love just putting out little paths for people to take to make their own little stamp on the community and what have you. But what do you think is the most important thing managing a community from your experience?
I would probably say the best thing about managing a community is just being there for your community. When people have feedback or they post in your Discord, just being present at that time when you're kind of like doing that feedback. Basically just taking what everyone says internally in your community and from the public, and not just being like, well, I'm the leader, like I can run this the way I want to, and then actually making those improvements so that your community can grow.
Right. Yeah, I keep thinking when people say stuff like that, which I do fully agree with, about a phrase, and I don't know exactly how it goes, but something around like a king that needs to tell the people that he's the king is not a true king.
Yeah, you really shouldn't see yourself as a king either, because you're wanting to grow like a team, a group of people that you want to play this game with, and it also extends outside the game. Like the Planeswalkers does, like we have a social night where we just get together and like maybe we'll play putt-putt in Discord or something.
Oh yeah.
Like with meeting people, I always found that at least in the Valheim community, you meet more good people than you do bad people, like bad actors who troll and go into your servers and damage things. So you shouldn't be afraid to take those risks when it comes to involving more than just yourself, because that's where the strength of your community is going to come from. It's not going to come from just one person. It's going to come from a team of people, and that viewpoint is ultimately what led to Val-Con being as big and as successful as it was.
I'm really happy to hear that, because I really, really agree with that. Really quick cut to chat here. Björn has a question, though I think I know the answer, but the question is how long the Val-Con merch store will be up. Now, I think it will be up like continuously, right?
Yeah, the Val-Con merch store will be up indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
It's just we will have items that are only available like around the Val-Con season, I like to call it, like the couple months leading up to the event and maybe a couple months after. Every year we'll do like limited edition designs that you won't be able to get at 2027. So we'll always have like a permanent set of items that you can get, like just a Val-Con logo t-shirt, but like the 2026 merch and the 2025 merch, that stuff is limited. So if you guys haven't gotten it, I know once that sells out, it's gone forever.
Exactly. And I do want to add, because I'm one of the few people that I think really care about this, because I know a lot of people, and this is not inherently bad, that just throw a logo on a shirt. They find a shirt, boom, logo on it, and put it on the store. But I think there's been actual thought into materials, actual thought into what feels nice, fits nice, where are they shipping from, all that kind of stuff. And I can personally attest. These are great fitting shirts. So if you want to rep Val-Con, your chances right now.
That's the dream, essentially, is that you will meet people IRL, like you'll be out at like the mall or something, and you'll see someone in a Val-Con shirt. That's what I want to experience. It's never been about like how much money we make off our merch. In fact, if we're not going to share our margins, but our margins are very, very slim. Like we're wanting to sell this stuff pretty much at manufacturing costs, so that people can rep Val-Con and people can wear their merch on a stream or as they're emceeing the event. We want people to have pride in what we're doing here. And it's never been really about making money.
Nah. Now there's the minimum you can set it on in the fourth wall. And the absolute minimum still accounts for a little bit of profit on your end. It's basically negligible, but I know I'm going to wear it during TwitchCon. That's for sure. So we're gonna see.
Yeah, we're making like $2 on a shirt. We're making like $5 on a hoodie. It's like all this profit goes back into the event. Yep. It doesn't go in anyone's pockets. So the more people support Val-Con, the grander it is next year. So if you get that merch and you rep us, that not only gets you into a really nice shirt that you really love and has Val-Con stuff on it, it supports the event.
Yeah, it's I think people are visual thinkers, as in they see a logo, just the image of it, not necessarily what it says, but it's about recognition. And I love the psychology behind that as well. Tangent for another day, absolutely, but yeah, let's continue with that. Klaus,
I was gonna say, I like to I actually wear mine when I travel. So if you see somebody wearing a Val-Con hoodie going through the airport, it might be me.
I will stop that person if I see a person. Well, like in a friendly way. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
Hey, you.
Like, hey. No. Hey. I don't know what friendly sounds like, but.
So earlier you mentioned being part of the StarCraft community. I'm just curious, like, how does the Valheim and StarCraft community differ? Like, what is that world even like?
RTS community is super sweaty. And then when you're playing the game alone, like because of how competitive it is, like I used to do like 1v1 like on the ladder, and the person you're playing is going to have some insightful words about your mother and other various things.
Huh.
So that alone is probably the biggest difference between the RTS community, StarCraft, and Valheim, is that Valheim itself is a more laid-back title. It's not competitive in nature, whereas the RTS community, it's like all about competition. And I think that's kind of where the build competition kind of came to be, is like I took that competitive nature of an RTS game, removed the toxicity, and applied it to a game almost like an art style. And our build competitions, while they may be competitive, it's always been about the social aspect more than the competitive aspect.
It's always good to focus on the positives like that, right?
Agreed.
Yeah, a lot more cheese in StarCraft.
Oh, it's all about the cheese. It's like, how can you humiliate your opponent? And honestly, that's how it is. It's like you want to destroy your opponent so that they close the game after they're done with your match.
Well, circling back, I don't have input on StarCraft. I have never played it. I'm sorry, folks.
Planetary Fortress Rush.
Got it. Okay,
Wow.
that all makes a lot of sense. So, yeah, I think this is also from my own perspective and experience. It's really interesting to see this. But in your eyes, Björno, how has the community, your community, changed over the years?
How has the Valheim community changed?
Sure, yeah. Valheim, Val-Con, however you want to answer it, really. Do you see any big, I don't know, maybe behavioral change, maybe a fandom focus somewhere?
I feel like it is. I feel like the focus of the community, at least from a majority of the public, has been, when will the game be done? 1.0. And I honestly don't like that direction, because I always feel like we should be focused on what we can do in the game, like something we can actually have control over.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what you create, whereas something you can't, change, being the release date.
Yeah, correct.
And I feel like it just gets worse every year we don't have 1.0. It just seems like more and more of the public is more focused on when the game will be done. And I just wish a lot of the public focused on what we do have.
Gotcha. Well, I always think it's a bit weird when I hear people say that. Not in the sense that I don't want 1.0. I think everybody wants 1.0. But I think the underlying desire there is just more content. Because I'm dreading the 1.0 release. Not because I'm not excited. I would love it. But it's over after that. That is the final product. There is a content promise at least up until 1.0, right? After that, who knows?
Yeah. And a lot of the Valheim team is already working on another title.
Yeah, correct.
Engraved. So
yeah.
At some point or another, they're going to be like, that's it, Valheim's done. And then there won't be any more new content, however long that is after 1.0. Because I know they want to add modding support and various other things. So I'm thinking we'll probably have content for at least another year after 1.0.
But that's when the mod community takes over. That's when the modders really get to step up. And
I
show
think
us
so,
what they
yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
We haven't
makes
really.
EWP so special.
We're at like the tip
Basically,
of the
each
iceberg
Valheim
right now.
update is Go on.
Oh, that's it.
So in EWP, you get to use all of the Valheim assets in different places to kind of make your own game using Valheim as a game engine. And for me personally, nothing in Valheim that I ever did, even Valheim itself, was as impactful as EWP development, because it made me go from somebody who sometimes feels sad about the development pace of Valheim to a person who views each update as an asset pack release. Like, that's what it is. Deep North
Right.
for me is a pack of things to play with so I can make fun experiences for people in the community. I hope that more people will kind of view it this way, because I also agree with you guys in the sense that even if you are just frustrated about Deep North and you want it to come out now, like, ultimately, you can't do anything about that, right? Like, you
No.
can bitch about it and complain, but ultimately, that just makes Iron Gate less likely to say yes to people in interviews and when the community reaches out to them. So it means that people like Bjorno have to do even more work to, like, kind of separate themselves from this part of the community that's resentful and frustrated. So ultimately, I completely agree with Easy. Like, you gotta focus on, or with Bjorno, sorry, that you gotta focus on what you can actually do something about now, even if you're bothered by something Iron Gate does. And that's what makes Expand World Prefab so special. If you, like, let's say that Iron Gate releases Deep North, and when you kill the boss, the world changes permanently and your playthrough ends. Like, that would be very divisive. But with EWP, you can just make it so when the boss dies, that doesn't happen. You have full control over everything.
To clarify that exactly, but you already did.
It's so cool.
Because I doubt a lot of people know what EWP stands for, because it's being used by a lot more, technical wizards, let's say, to make a cool experience.
Yeah.
Like you said, okay, yeah, that I feel like that does take over after the final release. Of course, we won't expect at least any big updates anymore after 1.0. If we get any, that's a good bonus. But technically, the game is done, and it should be a stable base for modders to run with. And I think that's what's going to keep it breathing, at least.
So moving back to the community stuff a bit here, Bjorno. Is there any feedback that you've received from people over the years regarding managing your own community? So I guess more the Planeswalkers, or maybe Val-Con as well, that helped you improve as a leader? And what is that specific thing that you learned through these years of managing people that others who are in leadership positions might benefit from hearing?
You shouldn't be afraid to fail. You shouldn't be scared to take risks, whether that be just reaching out to people you're unfamiliar with or doing something you've never done before. Because like I said, even if you fail at it, you still gave it a shot, and you can always learn from everything really that you do in your own community, and whether that be with Planeswalkers or Val-Con. Like we've been discussing pretty much the whole podcast, it's like there's no way you can really improve your community unless you take those risks.
Agreed.
Don't be afraid to put your name out there, essentially.
If you don't want to stagnate, right? You want to keep it fresh, like you said, that fresh wind in anything you do. And asking questions is just good communication in my mind. So.
Yeah.
All right, so I think we arrived at a little part that we could call the rapid fire round. Are you ready for this, Bjorno?
Yep.
Rapid fire questions. Everyone ready? Here we go.
Let's do it.
So, what is your favorite bio music?
Mistlands.
Nice. Chippy.
What's one thing that you always carry in Valheim?
Megan-Yard.
Favorite boss fight?
Motor.
One creature you wish was tameable.
The rabbits in Mistlands.
Oh.
What's your favorite class of weapon?
Mace.
Favorite armor set?
Oof. I'm gonna say the silver, the wolf set.
So the heavy armor. Ah. All right, favorite building material.
Black marble.
Really? Black marble. Interesting.
Yeah, I like those spikes that most black marble builds have.
Okay, you're not wrong.
One of those thinner pieces.
You're not wrong.
No, let me explain a little bit, because when and this is a thing I had with Valheim for a while actually. The black marble looks amazing. It's not about the texture of them, it's about the shape they come in, because it's so inconsistent with other build pieces.
Black
It
marble
is
is very difficult to work with.
Yeah.
It takes a lot.
Duplo.
Going back to the idea of failure, it takes a lot of failure before you really crack the code on black marble.
Yeah, it's not an easy build piece to use.
Mhm.
And when you get really good at black marble, it looks so good.
I have a long
Especially
road to
using
go.
it to accent other pieces.
I think that may be the magic word, accent, right there. Because I tried making like a completely blacked out room. I thought it would be cool, blacked out room with the Galder table in it, just for lighting effects. But turns out you can't really black out a room, and that's the only use I could see for black marble at the time. So
Yeah, I think
any
it's all about
builders,
what
Got to use those
free
signs.
to send tips and send help, because definitely needed. All right.
There you go. Next stream, Easy learns how to build with black marble again.
Again?
You got to start from scratch. You got to forget everything you know and just start over.
Oh yeah, blank the mind. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that. I need teachers.
See, what Iron Gate needs to do is they need to release white marble, and then that way we could use white and black marble to kind of build off each other.
And they could be like connection pieces that naturally fit on them. And sorry, I'm still on the pieces thing. I can't let it go.
They are weird angles. They are very weird angles. I don't even think they're all like. I know the focus was to make them kind of dwarven, but I'm not even sure that that's a success. There's some very spiky pieces that are truly
Right?
unique to the game.
So I think they work
I think
well
that's kind
in
of
the,
Iron
in
Gate's
the
design
buildings.
philosophy with the building pieces. It's like each piece, they're supposed to not really be like wood to ash wood, because that's like just basically a reskin, right? Don't get me wrong, ash wood's my favorite building material, but from Iron Gate's perspective, like they want black marble to be the big building thing for big blocks.
Yeah.
And then there is a space for thin things that they haven't fully filled yet. And then there's the regular things. And at least when I've listened to them in interviews, they seem to have that approach. It's like the material from this other material should be like fundamentally different, like not just like the same exact thing, just a different color. So I think that's kind of why they went with a big object like that for the black marble.
Okay, that makes sense, because I was just wondering if they just designed everything in Mistlands first and then picked it apart and like, hey, we can make a separate building piece out of this, maybe out of that. Aside from the fact that it seems to be stronger, like Shenanigans here says in chat.
It could be. I don't
much
know
to
at
learn.
what point they decide what will be buildable by players, right? I know that
Right.
they were going to give us more of the building things, but they decided to wait until Deep North comes out to like give the rest of them. And
I
so
hope
that
so.
was
This-
said while it was still in development, like Ashlands was in development. So that means that since then there was already stuff that was waiting. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
there's so many pieces that we don't have access to that really would just completely transform the building world
Oh yeah.
for vanilla players.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to more vanilla prefabs. That mod is incredible, and we've used it in build competitions before. Essentially unlocks every single item that is in vanilla Valheim, even the ones that are not buildable. So those things can really make a build pop.
That's what I've been wanting from day one. Since I saw the Fuling, or how do you pronounce that? Buildings, the Goblin buildings. They have such a cool style to me that I want to just
Very
reproduce
unique.
that. Very unique indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to start closing up, Bjorno, could you tell us more about where people can reach you or the community? So I guess, why don't you start with Planeswalkers if they want to learn more about that or participate in the building competition. where should they go, what should they do, and then after that, tell us about Val-Con and the same.
So you can find the Planeswalkers at Twitch TV, Planeswalkers Valheim, all one word. And on our Twitch page, there's a Discord link. You just click that link, it'll put you right into the Discord. If you're interested in the build competitions, you can check our event listings in our Discord. We also have a Valheim events board in our Discord channel. It's a text channel where we essentially post everything regarding our Valheim events. So if you just keep an eye on that channel, that text channel, you'll usually get an update for when things are happening there.
All right.
All right, so what are your future plans? What's your main focus at the moment?
So we have a new Valheim server that's launching on the 16th. New Dawn will be released then. It's a Valheim server we've been working on for about almost 2 years now. So it's a custom Valheim server, just like a lot of the other big RPG adventure maps that are going, like Verdant's Ascent. Essentially, it has a ton of lore and story that was custom written for it. And the dialogue is really lore heavy. So it's like a lot of the games I grew up with, RPGs, turn-based RPGs, that had a lot of the story just in text that you read, kind of mixed into Valheim. So that's kind of what we're working on now. That'll be coming out next week. And of course, we have our next build competition on the 23rd, our next frame game build competition, and that'll be on the Val-Con free build server.
Got it. And Berserk is involved with the RPG, right?
Yep, Berserk is a part of the Planeswalkers leadership team, along with many other prolific builders like Mythic. A lot of other Planeswalkers were involved in it. I want to say at least 30 people were involved at some point in getting it created. Of course, we had help also, just like we do with our build competitions in Val-Con. It was a collaborative effort. We had some work by Fire. I think even JP has done something for New Dawn at some point. So yeah, we're really excited to get that out.
All right. So, yeah, I think I'm a little blindsided here because I just want to continue, but it looks to be kind of all for this episode of the podcast, unless you feel like there's something on your mind still, maybe something you want to still talk about, something you want to get off your chest.
Anything you want to ask, Easy?
Sorry?
Sorry to interrupt. Go on.
No, there's no specific question from me necessarily. Just opening it up to both chats to Bjorn. Go ahead.
I did have one thing that I wanted to share, and it's something I've been kind of wanting to talk about. And it doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out thing, because it's kind of it's a downer in a way, but it kind of has an upside.
Okay.
Kind of like behind the process of like why I'm so passionate about like community work and collaboration. And it's just kind of something I wanted to bring up at some point, and I thought maybe now would be a good time for that. But when I was a very young Bjorno, maybe 13, 14 years old, I had a best friend that invited me over, and he got me into gaming. And whenever I went over, he was always very friendly and warm and welcoming about, introducing me to new titles and that multiplayer aspect of video games. And when I was, I want to say when I was like 17 or 18, he passed away, and it was really hard on me going through that at such a young age. But that feeling I got when I was hanging out with him and playing video games with him is something I bring into everything I do. So yeah, I thought that would be a good way to kind of close and kind of give the community an idea into the what kind of makes me tick. But losing such a big part of my life so young, it formed me into who I am today, and that same feeling, I want to replicate that feeling for everyone who joins Val-Con, who watches our broadcasts, who joins Planeswalkers, who joins the Val-Con Discord. I just want everyone to feel loved and to feel like you matter, and that camaraderie is a thing. We're not just here to play a game together. We're here to lift each other up too, and I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Thank you for that beautiful message. Because sometimes playing
you've
games
done a
is
good
hard to
job.
forget. We're all people. We all have feelings. We all have passions. We all have things we hate. We all have things we love. And
Yeah, you've done a great job making a community that people
Yeah.
can feel. Yeah, it's like the Val-Con Discord. It feels kind of like you're in a Valheim guild. Like, I don't know how to put it, but I get that feeling a lot in the Val-Con group overall. Just like it feels like when I was in a guild in World of Warcraft, except instead of being some like artificial thing where people are just showing up to get some gear they don't give a shit about and people aren't trying to have fun, instead it's like people who are literally just doing fun things in Valheim and trying to be good for the Valheim community. So it's way healthier than any guild I was ever in World of Warcraft. But I just wanted to point that out, that yeah, like you've made something available that people can get involved with, and it helps them feel like they have something to be part of. So I think that's something that, like, I've noticed. A lot of us have problems, and some people, you would be very surprised how much suffering they go through in their personal life, whether it's through problems with, their romantic situation or with their family and these things.
it could be anything. Yeah.
Now that I've gotten to know, the people better in this community and in the Valheim community, it is something very special. So thank you, Bjorno, for what you've done and giving people something to feel part of. Because I think overall, a lot of people who love Valheim feel like it's really hard to find other people who really love Valheim and are still loyal to it. Because there's so many people who are like those old pandemic era players who are just, they kind of complain about things, and it's a buzzkill, when you love the game and you're just trying to play and you don't even feel that way. But then like every time you try and invite a friend, they're like, nah, and giving people this community where they can not just find other people to play Valheim with, but find other people who have thousands of hours playing Valheim, who like absolutely love Valheim. It really like is a beautiful thing. So thank you very much for what you've done. I think you've succeeded in that sense.
If I want anyone to walk away taking something from this, is that essentially just be kind always, even to the people that aren't kind to you, people who criticize you. Just always wear your heart on your sleeve. You shouldn't be ashamed of who you are.
Never.
You love this game and you love this community and you love the people surrounding it. You should make that known.
Exactly. That's a beautiful message to close off on, I think. And again, like every other podcast we've done so far, I believe we could talk for hours. And there will be other podcasts, so keep your eyes peeled on both the Twitch and the YouTube. On YouTube, of course, there will be plans, so you will be able to see them sooner. Don't know exactly if we have a planning for this in the Val-Con Discord. I think we might.
We
JP?
still need to set up like what we've agreed on the schedule and everything, and if you guys need it to
Yes.
be at a time that's more convenient for Easy and Emma. So like,
All right,
the
cool.
podcast is planned to continue. We just haven't determined the little details of everything yet.
No, the idea is to continue with it, to give you a little piece of insight into, maybe the game, maybe organizing an event like this. Bringing on special guests has been very fun, and I don't intend to stop that. So thank you for enjoying this, everybody. We will rate out to someone who is, ironically, because I've seen this a bunch of times in chat right now, prepping for Deep North. It's a hard mode run, should be very fun. So with all that said, oh sorry,
Crumbs. Sorry, and to answer Crumb's message, Val-Con
yes.
2027 is happening. It's just a matter of when. So just keep your guys peeled on our socials, and I'm sure within probably this summer, we should probably have an answer as to at least a window of when Val-Con 2027 will be happening.
100%.
It's going to entirely take place inside Crumbs' longest longhouse, I hear.
Yes, It'll fit, maybe. Crumbs just has to make it longer a little bit, I think. You can accommodate a con, right, Crumbs? All right. On that wishful thinking, It's longer than, well, let's continue this discussion later, Crumbs. All right. Yeah, like I said, we can go on forever. We're gonna raid out to someone who's big in the Valheim community as well. And we're gonna wish you all a very nice day. All right, chat. Stick around for the raid, and we'll see you later. You will see us later. Everyone will see each other later. And be sure to stay yourself, be your awesome self, and rep the con, rep the Val. All right, guys. See you later.
See ya.
Take care, everybody.